Hey everybody, Anthony Romeo coming again at you. Wise up with Hitachi Cable America. Today we have Joe Lombardi, who loves to party, is joining us today. He's
Young Joe Lombardi.
he's Joe Lombardi. I'm not Joe Lombardi. Both crazy Italian Americans, right? American first. And speaking of Hitachi, made in the USA, proud US of A. Joe Lombardi, with all his years of experience in the industry, over 20 years of experience in the industry, from distribution partners to other manufacturers and reps. And now for the last 10 years, he's been in the New England market, predominantly supporting Hitachi, their business partners, their contractor community, their distribution partners, telling the good folks that buy and support Hitachi Cable America what separates them from the pack, what makes it, the reasons. And he's here today on Wise Up to tell us you have to buy after this podcast. And this is, I got the pendulum going, and I'm going to do a little bit of hypnosis. But all jokes aside, folks, because I'm not that funny, we got about 20 minutes of Joe talking about Hitachi and the reasons why you should think about and consider buying Hitachi from reputable, authorized distributors like Wise Components, located in the New York tri-state area. Hitachi Cable America has been around for many years, and it's an enormous company, and I could do a disservice by describing how massive of a company Hitachi is. So I'm going to leave that to Joe. So Joe, again, welcome. And tell us a little bit about Hitachi.
Well, thanks, Anthony, for having me. And I know the prestigious, podcast that you run. I'm very honored to be on it. But yeah, no, I've been working at Hitachi for over 10 years. I cover the Northeast from Maine down to Delaware, out West Virginia, and Pennsylvania, and love the company. It's been great to me for the 10 years. And our facility is in New Hampshire, Manchester, New Hampshire. We make 100% of our products there that we sell on the premise side.
How big would you say, as far as scale to market, how massive an organization is Hitachi for those that don't know? Because, you run into a hardware store and you see Hitachi, tools, and then
payloaders,
I mean,
amongst other things.
Exactly. So
it's a very large company worldwide. It depends on the year. We've been as high as, I think, the 20-something largest company in the world. I've seen it like 35th to 40th. It depends on the year, obviously, with revenue. Hundreds of thousands of employees worldwide. We're a subsidiary, obviously. So we act independently, even though we're, part of the big conglomerate.
Right.
What's great about that is, and I say this all the time, we act as a very small company.
How so?
We got about 200 to 300 people that work up in New Hampshire. The facility is about 300,000 square feet. What's great about that is it's a very, small company in a sense where I can call my vice president at any time. The operations group, the vice president of operations.
Not a lot of layers of lasagna, right?
Exactly, no layers. I could get right to the top, which is very helpful. So it's great, but it's also great working for a huge company like Hitachi too. It's like I always say, it's like having rich parents. So we need money for.
I was just going to say, tell the folks that are listening to Wise Up here on either Spotify, Apple iTunes, or however they stream. Tell us a little bit about, other than a paycheck, what excites you about connecting with the people that you're seeing on a daily basis in between Zoom calls or out and about. Safe social distance environment, you're out and about, whether it be in the state of Connecticut where you hail from or other states that you're responsible for the territory. What are you bringing to the table to the consultant community, the contractor community, or the end user community, or distribution partners to say how great Hitachi is?
Well, we have a great product. Our engineers do a tremendous job. We listen to our customer base and what they're looking for in a product. One of the things, our whole crew is set up by ex-contractors, really. So they know what is important to the contractor base, whether it be how the cable pulls, how it's designed. Like we have.
So may I ask you, so you're you take that intel back, firsthand knowledge that you're getting from the street, from the boots on the ground, right? And you're taking that back to R&D, not like months. There's no, requests that needs to be formatted and then run up the chain of command. It's you call up the COO of Hitachi and you say, listen, I just had this meeting with consultant XYZ and contractor whomever, and they said, this is not working right. Let's fix it.
Exactly, 100% correct. I mean, something as simple as a contractor one time said it'd be nice if we had the fill charts available to us all the time. If you look at the back of the box, I'm pretty sure that they have the fill chart on our box of cable. It doesn't go all the way.
You mean this box right here?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, something like that. It was that simple to get that added, and it was a simple phone call. I didn't have to go through 7, 8 different layers, kind of like you had mentioned earlier.
Yeah, no, that's quality. Definitely, that goes a long way. Besides having a product that's quality made, and the people that support it is also a plus, I would say. You come from this industry for over 20 years, but you've done other things. It's not like you came fresh out of school and then came to this. So what else have you done as other?
You're correct.
Listen,
I didn't
not hobbies. I don't want to know what kind of things you're doing outside of the workplace. That's
no.
That's
this is not this is
a
PG rated podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. No, I didn't go to college to be a cable salesman. I can tell you that. Before this, I worked as a claim adjuster for an insurance company. Did a lot of injury negotiations. And like I said, it actually prepared me well for sales, believe it or not, because big thing about being a claim adjuster, I dealt with attorneys and doctors all the time, and you negotiate all the time, right? So they spent a lot of money and time on their employees for that trait. And
it's so great to hear that. I mean, a lot of times we've had over 24 episodes of Wise Up, and we're talking to manufacturers, consultants, end users, owners reps, property managers, and we're talking about the layer 1 infrastructure, predominantly dealing with IoT solutions, AI, 5G. The office of the future is now, as everybody's saying. We know with this pandemic that's going on, people understand they need to deploy, kiosks that do facial recognition. So it has to be tied to a network. Therefore, the network is not wireless. It's more wired than ever before, right?
Yeah.
So, having the companies come on and say, our product's great and here's why is a plus. And I appreciate that. But also what you point out is saying, we're an enormous company, Hitachi, but we have that small hands-on approach, which is phenomenal to hear, and especially in these times when knowing who you're going to pick up the phone in a pinch, and taking what you're saying to heart. Like you just talked about the fill chart, and that was something that you were, your company took from the information right on the ground and got that done right away. So that's good. What are some of the other products that are kind of differential? Like I had one of your former colleagues on talking about drybit. Now, for those who didn't have the opportunity to listen to that episode, I say check it out. It was phenomenal. We spent a lot of time on drybit, but for those who are listening to this episode, in a few words, just tell us, why is drybit important and what is it?
Yeah, it's an indoor-outdoor category cable that's plenum rated, so it's unique. So it's it's more prevalent down south where there's a lot of slab environments, where wet environments, conduit. That way you don't have to transition. It saves time, space, and money.
Right.
So you might be spending a little bit more on the cable, but it saves you in the long run. Up here in the Northeast, there's a lot more basement stuff like that, so you don't really run into it as much. But there are a lot of opportunities outside, right? So you have IP cameras or outdoor access points. You just bring that cable out, run it, and cut them right back into the closet inside. Don't have to worry about re-termination of any sort. So
save a little bit on labor, right?
A lot on labor, yeah. And space too. You don't have to transition it. So it's a unique product out there. It's not going to fit in everywhere. You're not going to sell 500,000 feet at a time. No. But it's unique, and it leads us into other avenues. So You know, I know like University of Connecticut has it on their spec. Penn State, same thing. You know, so it's good to always have a product that's listed on a spec. I think that's all our goal, right?
I would think, right? You know, that's part of it, like the real world.
Yeah, exactly. Easier said than done, of course, but
you know, sell me the pen, right? So
yeah, exactly.
What other solutions are you and your company marketing to the masses out there? I know we had previous conversations about, you know, 23 versus 24 gauge. What's the deal there? You know, just for those.
So yeah, about a year ago, we on our standard Cat 6, the stuff that you see behind you, we switched it over to 24 gauge from a 23 gauge, which has always been kind of the standard in the industry.
Well,
there's a couple reasons why we
went
that way. And I think you're going to see more manufacturers, a lot of our competitors do that. I know one already does it. One thing, I go back to Hitachi corporate, they're really good at reinvesting in the companies. So in the last 5 years, we've got a whole bunch of new machinery in there, which enables us to get the same performance on a smaller gauge. So it's more efficient for us. The cable's smaller. You can see the boxes are smaller. They're lighter. Just makes more sense all around. So if the cable pulls like a 5E,
doing a little,
do that. Exactly. There's strength right there, Anthony.
Strength test, showing off.
Exactly. So it's a benefit.
There's cable in there, by the way. Just saying, there's cable in there. It's not an empty box.
I would hope it's not empty. It's a little stronger than that, Anthony. But yeah, once again, that goes back to what we said before with the contractors. You know, obviously, it's a lot easier for them to carry a lighter box, and it pulls, like I said, like a 5E cable. And you know, now we can get 30 boxes to a pallet as opposed to 24. So there's a lot of benefits. And we're able to do it because, like I said, we got new machines. You know, these machines aren't 20, 30 years old.
Right.
You know, within 5 years, and they're, you know, you have the capability of doing it. And there's no difference in performance. It's the same exact performance, same electrical performance.
So with that said, on performance, and we talked about, you know, getting on specs and whatnot. How does Hitachi, because you know you're the cable manufacturer, but you kind of work with everybody, right? You really play in that sandbox with everybody so nicely. Where's the warranty in that? Is that on them, or is that on you?
And this, once again, this comes also from our customer base. We believe in an open system architecture, meaning we'll partner up with any of the major connectivity manufacturers out there, whether it be Panduit, you know, Hubble, Siemens, Vortronics, Leviton. And, you know, we've all been in this industry a while. We've known these partnerships have come and gone. You know, it's affected us too. We've had partners too that there's a breakup, you know, eventually, right? So we basically said, well, you know, we're going to work with them all. We're not going to be tied to one solution. It gives the flexibility of the end user, you know, to get more competitive pricing. Gives the, you know, the flexibility of a contractor to kind of use who they want and still, you know, get a lifetime warranty is what we offer. It's better than, you know, the 25-year, which, you know, is more of a solution sell for most companies. You know,
right.
We'll offer a lifetime. And I mean, that covers the connectivity, that covers the labor and everything.
So I say, for instance, a contractor wants to buy and install Hitachi. Is there any training required or certifications that could be had? And if so, what's the process in doing so?
Sure. Yeah. And it depends on the contractor, right? We know some of the well-established ones out there. We know they're capable of you know, of doing a quality job. In that case, you know, most likely they're already, you know, certified by 5 or 6 different guys. In that case, we can just sign them up right then and there because we know who they are. Newer guys, yeah, we will do trainings. We'll go on their site. Once again, depending what they're looking to do, we can do fiber trainings. We can do, you know, obviously copper 101, fiber 101, stuff like that.
Right.
A lot of times, even, you know, we offer this to our customer all the time because we're located in Manchester, New Hampshire. We'll bring them up to our factory. Not only do we have factory tours, we'll do trainings up there, and you get Bixie credits for it too. So, once again,
are you doing any? Considering that you know, where some states are in lockdown and some states are more stringent on policies of where you can go and where you can't go. Have you went to some type of virtual platform to offer training and or, you know, just educational certifications or certificates?
Yes, we have done a few of those. We've gone through some internal changes of late, but yeah, that's something we would always consider and look at too. Whether I do it, one of my reps or someone at the factory, it could easily be done. Yeah.
Oh, cool. And we talked about a very, broad spectrum, but does your organization, or you specifically focused in one or two verticals where you really find yourself to be an asset, a value add to that market? And if so, what vertical would that be?
I'll be honest, we've been very successful at higher eds, right? So a lot of colleges and universities have been, and once again, I go back to our open system architecture. They might already be entrenched in Panduit or electronics, but we can go up, and we've done many bake-offs where our cable is, outperformed or performed as well as the solution in-house already. And because we're located in the Northeast, it makes it all that much more desirable, if you will, because one of the, you've heard lead points and stuff like that before, environmental concerns. That's big with colleges and universities. And because we're within 400 miles of most places in the Northeast, we can direct them to get lead points in that direction. And it has been successful. I can tell you a few colleges off that hand in Massachusetts that have utilized that. So.
And you mentioned, and we've been talking a lot about the Northeast corridor where you reside in Connecticut state. But, again, Hitachi is just a massive organization, globally known. For the US-based customers, and I would say 56% of our listeners to Wise Up happen to be in the US of A. We're streaming this on Spotify, Anchor, Apple iTunes. Any way you listen to podcasts, you can pick up Wise Up. But for the majority of the folks that are in the US of A, besides Manchester, where else do you have manufacturing supporting the United States?
Well, it's primarily based in New Hampshire. Now, we have done some stuff, like we're partners under our umbrella with, say, Hitachi Automotive, which has a big plant in right outside of Louisville in Indiana. We've utilized their warehousing capabilities before, also in California too. That's always kind of hit or miss. We're looking to do more of that. Like I said, kind of use our sister partners a little bit more, keep inventory across the country, kind of, spread our wealth, if you will.
Yeah. No, so again, talking with Joe Lombardi, who loves to party. No association or affiliation to the Lombardi Trophy, right?
Younger Joe Lombardi loves to party. What is that?
Is there any affiliation to the Lombardi Trophy? You could say yes. And
I know if there was, I'd be coaching football right now, not selling cable. I can tell you that. So, although he does have a grandson named Joe Lombardi that is a coach. I think he was on the Lions, and I think he might be on the Packers right now, actually.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But again, folks, for those of you who listen, we greatly appreciate. Continue to comment. We're actually going to be giving away a prize coming up in future episodes. We're going to be one lucky person is going to be winning a Bose headset. So get out there to vote for your favorite podcast. Don't forget that you could do it on Instagram, on Instagram or LinkedIn to find it. Wise Components page on LinkedIn or Instagram has it. #vote. You could vote for this episode with Joe Lombardi, who loves to party. Works for Hitachi Cable America, and he's doing everything that he could possibly do to the contractor community, consultant community, distribution partners, authorized resellers of Hitachi like Wise Components to go above and beyond countless times for the 10 years that he's been at Hitachi. So I encourage that you look him up on LinkedIn. If you need somebody to support your cable needs, as far as a spec partnership with Hitachi, they, as he points out, they play nice in the sandbox. So, think about that. We mentioned briefly drybit, and that episode is also in great lengths and detail on the drybit and the characteristics of that. We talked about 23 versus 24 gauge. We'll see what happens, Joe. I mean, you guys came first to the party. See if everybody joins. Again, we talked about the fill ratio chart that can be found on the box behind me, and that could be of importance to some people out there in the field. A lighter box. So we covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. For those of you who want to learn more about Hitachi Cable America, again, you can go to Joe Lombardi at LinkedIn, or you can go to Hitachi Cable America. Is it HitachiCableAmerica.com?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you
I
can
can give you the real address. I mean, once again, it kind of switches. There might be a.
They buy so many companies.
So we've switched it because, like I said, it's actually hca.hitachi-cable.com. So
yeah, exactly.
That's
so
the last.
Yeah, you do it
still
that way.
Where you need to go, but
exactly. I'm Anthony Romeo. Again, thank you so much for everybody joining the Wise Up Nation. We really appreciate everybody. Continue to comment, continue to listen, share it with your friends, like us on all the social media platforms, or stream us however you like. Joe, thanks for taking the opportunity to give you a little high five, virtual high five.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for having me. And I just want to thank you guys at Wise Components. You've been a tremendous partner. I can speak for all of Hitachi, and thank you for all you guys do for us. You guys are tremendous.
Well,
thanks for having me.
We appreciate that, Joe. Thank you so much.
All right, bud.